Empezamos en Nueva York. Los héroes están en problemas.
We start in New York. The heroes are in trouble. The crystalline entity is spreading everywhere, which warns them not to touch it because also the Fantastic Four are flying with problems. The crystals are chasing them and manage to Red has to make an emergency landing. Immediately the crystals start to surround them, but luckily Sentury then he approaches his best friend and tells him that he has to give him an explanation. It is quite clear to Red and he wants to know they must stop this crystalline entity. Then he will explain everything, although he thinks it might. This entity has spread throughout the city. Red also doesn't think it's possible, but Center asks that with everything he has. Upon hearing this, Center asks him to follow him to Fifth Avenue. They must get there quickly. Sentury replies that he already knows. He has designed a clever plan. Meanwhile, Clock warns everyone they must. Possible Sentury has a plan. Going back to Bob, he asks Rid if she knows about the piezoelectric effect. It generates energy. Center points out that this explains the energy anomalies they've been experiencing at a predictable frequency. Her question, what the hell are they talking about? She doesn't understand anything until they can figure out the frequency at which they are going to yell at him. Then Bob approaches Hulk, but he is stone, which doesn't seem fair. Hulk is the Golden Man's best friend. Because of this, Sentury, whoever wins is going to be Sentury. Hulk's absolute friend asks they must smash as many crystals as possible. Music. Sentury tells Hulk that even Ben says he can smash more, denies that he can smash more crystals because he is Hulk. The Gamma mutated advances. Sentra asks, destroying crystals. Johnny asks what are they going to do now. Center replies that now they are going to blow them up. He needs perimeter to protect them. This is going to get pretty dangerous, but according to Red, things are already pretty frequency. They won't be able to quickly build a transmitter. Chento on that, and Clock has been working the main transmitter of the watchtower. Retransmit and amplify Sentury's energy. Red can't believe it. Sentury is going to use his own body. He needs someone who knows how to speak math because it looks like this sapient entity a Rid gets. Of course it's going to work. While the heroes continue to destroy crystals, Rid and Center are calculating the frequency. Rid asks, frequency, it's already approaching, but suddenly Bob can feel the crystals adapting. The entity is watching him. Rid asks him to it's already approaching and they finally achieve it. Red asks him to lower it a bit and then raise it with all he has. Clock starts recording that the crystal unleashes all his power. The crystals throughout the city disappear. At the same time, much of the city is destroyed and wakes up. He wonders what happened. Boyd appears before him. Fisk asks him what he has done to him, but according to Boyd, he doesn't owe him an explanation. He won't need it for a while. Wilson doesn't understand what he's talking about. Boyd replies that the doctors are asleep beside healed, but asks him not. Boyd has destroyed his tested opportunities to recharge his batteries before he needs it again. What he does with his time from now on depends on Fisk. Finally, the doctors arrive and can see something strange on his skin. That same day in the evening, the hero showing off his best friend Sentury's new t-shirt. In the middle of the party, Sentury pulls away. Explanation. Bob replies that he lied to himself. He's been lying about Void, but he's done it on purpose and thinks that maybe so that all of this works. Sentury points out that when you are a superhero, sometimes you can save 10 people, but Sentury is different. If he saves 10 people die. Music. For every action he takes, Void takes one. All this time, for a long time, people think he is crazy, but they don't realize that Bob is looking for a way to he needs his trust. He is about to discover something. If you let the boy get out of control for a while, it will put it perfect system and obviously morally questionable, but it is much better than what Bob had done. A child, and he knows that the Sentury and Void are not going to go anywhere, so he will learn to manage them. It is just being cured. Music. It's a process. Rid points out the obvious. If people find out that Void exists, Sentury is afraid of Bob. Rid asks then what is he going to do now. Sentury replies that he doesn't know, but he thinks he and Void are to fight against Boy. Maybe you can bend the rules a little and give him what he wants because music. Something is coming, something pretty. Center was resonating at the same frequency. That entity connected with it and discovered that this is only. That means that when this creature returns, they are going to need Sentury, which is why they are also going to have. But clearly Bo went too far, so it's not going to be a problem for the moment. Then Sentury asks to return to flirt with his wife, but before that happens, Rid takes the moment to say that he's sorry for the dog. Bob answers that if there is one thing he can do to help him, he can lend him the special spaceship. Thanks to Red's help, time, and he can finally fulfill the promise he made as a child. This trauma alone, but now Sentury fixes it. Bob reveals that to be able to do this, he had to allow the first watch to die. Sentury could. He wanted to but decided not to all his life. Bob has also felt that he could not be forgiven. True, because none of this is really his fault. Back on Earth, Lindy notices Bob's arrival and asks him what he has. Who has brought something special? It's a new dog. Her name is Leica and she's going to be the new watchdog. This Sentury